Give everybody a few minutes to get started on this week's lucky numbers of the week with Guede Limbo, Sain, Expedite. Just gotta tune in from my other phone real quick just so I could see the chat. All right. Give everybody a moment. There are this should go very fast today. This is a smaller weekend of people that signed up, so it should go much quicker. Doing it a little earlier than I anticipated because I had a break in between some other commitments this weekend. Give me a minute here, just finishing the list. We'll get started in just a minute. I was finishing up my list real quick. Hey. Psst, psst. We'll get started in just a second. I'm just finishing up my list. Good to see you. Drop it in the chat if you are here. If you've been here before, let me know in the chat. And if you're brand new, let me know as well. And if you're new, welcome. Hey, lay down. All right. So I have a few people for lucky numbers. And then we have one person who we're going to do a lucky number and a mini luck and money reading for in a few minutes here. So if you haven't watched the video that's in my shorts, my YouTube shorts about how lucky numbers work. In a nutshell, real quick, for anybody new, lucky numbers don't just mean lucky numbers as far as gambling. They can mean that, but we don't endorse gambling specifically. He's not going to give you too much advice on what to gamble or anything, or what to bet on. However, Guede Limbo, who synchronized with Saint Expedite in our practice, which is the 21 divisions, Dominican Vudu practice, he will give you any suggestions that he has, that he sees for you. If the numbers are meant to be bet or gambled, he'll let you know. And if they're meant to be utilized in another way, sometimes he'll give you times a day or dates that are going to be very important and specific information. Like, for instance, if it's better for you to apply for a job on a certain day, that may come out. The date might come up, the time may come up. If an important meeting may be taking place, he may give you a time and a date as well for that. He may give you a house number. Like, there's many different things that can come out in lucky numbers. So it depends on the person I'm rolling for. And he'll know what is going to be relevant for them and when. So it can vary very much. And you can see that in past lucky numbers that I've posted in my YouTube shorts and in my YouTube regular videos and in my YouTube lives, because I've done lucky numbers 3 different ways. We're going to start with the free collective messages first. Free collective lucky numbers first. And then we'll get into the personal ones. However, there's also lucky numbers. There's this new thing called Lucky Combo. Lucky Combo is the lucky numbers plus a mini luck and money reading with very much more specifics for the person who purchases that. You're going to get more specific information. And for anybody who just gets lucky numbers, you're going to get general information or just the numbers. Okay, that's how it works. Guede Limbo is a type of spirit who, A, he doesn't work for cheap, definitely doesn't work for free, definitely doesn't work for cheap, and 3, he expects public praise when he does come through for you, when he does give you winning numbers, when he does give you advice that lines up or information that lines up, he expects public testimonials because that's part of his payment. And remember, what spirit gives or blesses with, they can take away. It's up to them. I don't control the spirits. They are their own entities, but that's kind of how he works. So if you're participating in lucky numbers, understand that. Otherwise, don't participate. All right, let's get started. So anybody can use these if you're a believer for these first free lucky numbers that I'm going to roll. If you're a believer in the voodoo spirits and you respect the voodoo loa and their vessels, then you're welcome to use these. However, lucky numbers that are rolled for other people, they're not going to work for you. So if you try to use them, let me just say, and this was his warning that he wanted me to give, they will backfire on you. If you take somebody else's lucky numbers that weren't for you, they're not going to work for you, and it may backfire on your luck. Just a warning. And that's not something I came up with. That's something that he told me because somebody did comment, somebody from another country did try to guilt trip Guede Limbo and wanted more than what he was giving for free and asked if they could use all the other people's, everybody else who paid numbers, and he said no. And the person continued to guilt trip in the comments. So what he did was he blocked their paths and crossed their roads because they weren't satisfied with just the free lucky numbers that he kept saying through me that was okay for them to use. They didn't want just those numbers to play and to take that one chance on their lotto with those numbers. They weren't grateful for it. They didn't utilize what was given for free and see the blessing in that. So then they continued to comment on this video after last week's lucky numbers and try to guilt trip the loa. And the loa know who's honest and who's not. And the loa know who's worthy, who's not. So if you want to try to play with the loa or try to guilt trip somebody or take advantage of other people, it's not going to work. They may work with other people. That's not going to work here. And that's not going to work with any loa. Just so you understand. So take that type of attitude somewhere else and don't participate if you don't believe. I have to say that because that's what he told me to say. But I'm never going to try to convince anybody to participate or to believe. However, understand that's how this works and there's no exceptions. All right. Now that that's out of the way, let's get started on this week's lucky numbers for those who believe. and are grateful. Yeah. And it's not fair to other people who paid. So what he did was he blocked their roads temporarily to teach them a lesson. So they were crying poverty and crying, you know, that they're in a third world country. You know, everybody has their struggles, but there's people who can utilize the information that was given for free and take either a win and a blessing, or can leave it and disrespect it and not be grateful for it, and in this sense hex themselves, and in this case tick Guede Limbo off. So like I said, don't disrespect spirits, especially spirits that you don't know and you're not entitled to work with. I offer this through him as a gift. If you don't like the gift, you don't have to take it, but don't disrespect the gift. Just leave it there and walk away if you're not going to utilize it, and let other people enjoy their blessings that they respect and should receive. You can be salty someplace else. All right, let's get started. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I roll 7 dice for free lucky numbers of the week. I suggest you write these down and you hold on to the free lucky numbers of the week, because they may be relevant during the entire month that I'm rolling them in, not just in that single week. And then if you purchase lucky numbers for the personal, write those down too, because that's double your chances. So you can use them in combination. Follow your intuition. Everything with spirit, you need to follow your intuition. You need to allow yourself to be divinely guided. And if you don't know how to do that, then that's a major sign, red flag, that you need spiritual cleansing, deep spiritual cleansing, and alignment work. And likely protection work, possibly sweetening work. But that's on you to pursue. That's what I offer through spiritual consultation with my private clients. But if you don't know how to be in tune with your intuition and how to allow yourself to be divinely guided to what to do with your lucky numbers once you receive them, then that's a sign that you need cleansing, need work done. Either do it yourself, if you know how, or go to somebody you know who does and who is prepared and equipped to do that for you. Not everybody is prepared and equipped to do that for you. It takes spiritual training, spiritual strength, and in certain cases, initiation into a traditional spiritual practice that knows how to do that. And especially people who have spiritual attachments, negative spirits around them, demonic entities around them. And that's what we do. That's what we do in our voodoo lineage. Okay. I'm just waiting for him. I already offered him his tobacco this morning. I already spoke with him this morning, but I had told him that I was going to do this later today, so I don't think he was expecting me to do it this early. So I called him a little late and he was with somebody else. So I'm giving him a few minutes to finish. Because the Loa can be in multiple places at once. They work through many different people who are prepared around the world. They can be in many places at once. So, but only to a certain number. If you'd like to sign up for next week is now open on my website, samthespiritist.com. I had to rebuy my domain back. I don't know how it expired without me knowing, but for some reason I didn't get the alert. So the domain is back, samthespiritist.com, for everything you need, every way to reach me. I don't do DMs, so if you need me, you gotta book a consultation through samthespiritist.com. I don't do private readings at this time. I only do them during a certain period of the year. So you can book consultations for spiritual work only at this time, spiritual work services, such as cleansing, conjure, and protection type workings. The only workings I don't do, although I'm very good at them, I don't do love workings. So don't come to me for love workings. don't do love spell work for private clients. But almost everything else except baneful magic, unjustified baneful magic, everything else it pretty much can help you with, except love work and unjustified work. All right, let's get started. Gracias la misericordia. Guede Limbo. Guede Limbo, Guede Limbo, Guede Limbo. What are the lucky numbers of the week for the collective? Gracias la misericordia. Guede Limbo. All right. All right. Lucky numbers of the week. The first one I'm seeing is 12. Next one I saw was 5, then 40. Then I saw a 13 over here. There's also an 11. 11 and 13. 7, 1. And 2, 3, 1. 2, 1, 3. 31, 13. Another 12 are your bonus numbers. This week I feel the collective, it's not that it's an unlucky week for the collective, it's actually a lucky week for the collective. However, the collective is distracted. And I told you this before. You are distracted by the bullshit that you're listening to and that you're seeing on TV. And that your friends and your family are bitching and complaining about around you. And my spirits are very blunt, so I'm not going to excuse their French. You listen to bullshit way too much. And you allow it to bring down your vibration. And your frequency is too low to feel as if you have luck on your side. That's what he's saying today. It's not this week is unlucky. This week is actually lucky. You're going into a full moon this week. Luck is on your side. However, it's your own actions as a collective. The majority of the population is not in alignment with what they say they want because they still are allowing the matrix to control and program them. And it doesn't matter how much spell work or spiritual cleansing work and how much protection work you do if you are your own worst enemy. Or if you keep people around you and refuse to put boundaries up with people around you who are allowing themselves to be programmed. You're not responsible for what other people do, but you are responsible for what you do or don't do. Excuse me. All of you have free will. Every one of us has free will. What are you doing with yours? Who is in control of your mind? Who is in control of your energy? Are your own thoughts your own? Or are they all influenced by what you've heard previously, experienced previously through other people, or the television, or the radio? We aimlessly listen to these things until a certain point. For some people, there becomes a turning point where you're meant to level up. And if you don't make the necessary changes and cut out the things that are distracting you from your divine purpose and path, you are going to miss opportunities over and over and over again. So in reference to lucky numbers, this week is lucky for you. Play your lucky numbers. He's saying these are good lotto numbers. Also, there was 2 numbers in here. We got 12 twice, and he gave out a bonus number of 12 and 12. So look up angel number 1212. Excuse me. He's also giving a few bonus numbers, additional bonus numbers that he's calling out to me. The number 54, the number 125, the number 137, the number 71, the number 17, the number 45, number 413, number 134. So he's given a whole bunch of bonus numbers. So it's telling me lotto. Play the lotto. He's also saying play the $5 cards. Remember probabilities from the last time I talked about the lotto. You should look up a video about probabilities and which cards to play in the lotto. If you like to play scratch-off cards, he's saying the $5 cards are your better option. If you have $50, don't just get a $50 card. That's stupid. Only get a $50 card if you have like $500. Get one $50 card and get a variety of other cards. Increase your chances. Know the probabilities though on your state's game, your state's lotto gaming, and go into YouTube and search. If you like to play the lotto, get smart about playing the lotto. Don't be a dummy. Don't play blindly. Don't have ignorance when playing the lotto like everybody else. It's all about probabilities. And if you can understand the probabilities, you'll increase your chances tenfold compared to everybody else going in there and just mindlessly buying lotto tickets and throwing dumb money at the counter because they don't understand and they don't research how the games work. It's like walking into a casino and just going to slots and dumping money in slots, realizing the probabilities of winning any significant amount of money on slots is the least in the whole place. It's the biggest money pit. You have to learn how to play actual table games to get really significant money for how much you're putting in. So you have to become a skilled bettor. If you're going to go into casinos, pick games, learn games online on YouTube. Learn the games and become a skilled bettor. I'm not going to give you any advice on which games to take, because then that gets into a hairy part of the internet and regulation that I don't want to step boundaries over, but learn. Do your research and learn how to use the numbers in lotto or in any other form of gambling in a casino. Also, he's saying now, for between now and the 5th of December is a lucky, between May 12th and the 5th of December is a very lucky time for the collective. Although you don't realize it yet, there's a lot of chaos, there's a lot of uncertainties, but you're going to start seeing a lot of changes that end up benefiting you. Although you think the whole world is crashing down and you're going to suffer. No. A lot of changes that are going to be benefiting you. You have to let go of a few small inconveniences. To you, they seem major because you're paying attention to the news and listening to everybody else, and it's echoing, and it's like a snowballing effect. So it becomes bigger than it really is because you're giving it and everybody else giving it the same energy. It's bigger. It's becoming bigger than it is. And also, some of the things that are happening because the spirits want them to happen. Because they're tired, and this earth is tired of overconsumerism and irresponsibility and not taking care of the planet, not being a good steward of the planet, being a consumer to the point that it's toxic, that it's wasteful, incredibly wasteful, damaging to the earth and distracting you. Obsession with consumerism and obsession with technology is destroying the planet and destroying you and distracting you from what you actually came here to do. So understand that a lot of what's happening, you think that it's somebody, one person or one side or another, or one country's ruler or another that's being an asshole. Understand that they are puppets of higher forces. It's not them. They're just the face the mask you get to see. They are puppets. They are not the ultimate power here. They like you to think that they are not. So what you're seeing happen is happening because there are forces, spirits and forces, including Lua, but many other, a collection, a council of them that are puppeteering everything that's going on in order to bring balance back to this planet. Because you became obsessed as a collective with consuming. You're like dark holes. You're like black holes, voids, just receiving and just throwing everything into it, wanting to devour everything. Devour, 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 devour. Consume, 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 consume. Where does it fucking end? Why do you need all of that shit? It's springtime. You're supposed to be spring cleaning and releasing. Not buying more shit that you don't need. That's what's happening. That's all that's happening, is a bunch of spirits and deities getting together and spring cleaning the whole planet and stopping what is causing this planet to be sick and the population to become overly physically sick, a spread of chronic illness, a blow up of chronic illness like we've never seen because of irresponsible choices, careless choices, demonic influences that were running rampant, and giving people too much access. That's what happened. So understand that that's what happened. So the week is lucky for you. This month is lucky for you. But you have to understand why you don't feel lucky is because of choices to listen and to believe things that aren't what you think they are and aren't as serious as you think they are. Once you release that programming and the belief and you cleanse and reset yourself in your space, you will be able to feel and be lucky this week and going forward. Now let's get started on the lucky numbers. I'm just gonna roll the lucky numbers for a few people, and then I'm gonna do one lucky combo. So the first person, thank you, Guede Limbo. So the first person that we have lucky numbers for is Rosemary. Guede Limbo, Guede Limbo, Guede Limbo, Guede Limbo. What are lucky numbers of the week for Rosemary? Guede Limbo, Guede Limbo, Guede Limbo. What are lucky numbers of the week for Rosemary? Okay. Rosemary. Lucky week for you. Lucky in general. Seeing the lucky numbers 3, 5, 10, 8, and 60. I also have 20 here and Bonus numbers 241, 41, 21, 12, 24, and 42. Saying for you, I feel like you might be a little older. He's saying for you, it's playing the lotto. Playing the lotto, or if you like also bingo, maybe a good way for you to earn some extra cash if you have some free time. You may want to get involved in bingo and playing the lotto. Okay? 3, 5. October 8th is a date that's standing out. It's going to be a lucky week or a lucky week or a lucky day for you. I don't know what you have coming up in October, but that week in particular, he's saying will be a substantially lucky week for you. If you have a plan to sell something or to buy something coming up, sell a house, buy a house is more what I'm feeling. Then by October it's going to happen, or in October you should start doing it. It's going to be a lucky week or a lucky day for you. Could be a closing date, could be a day you make an offer, or somebody makes an offer on your house if you're selling your house, or a day you're supposed to move in general. Moving and houses is what I'm seeing in general here. So that's the lucky numbers of the week for you, Rosemary. Gracias, Misterio, Guede Limbo. Where did my pen go? Okay, anyway, the next person on the list is Charles. Gracias, Misterio, Guede Limbo. Gracias, Misterio, Guede Limbo. Numbers of the week for Charles. Lucky individual. I feel like you have access to money or are always provided for. Not independent much. A lot of change regarding how you receive money, but still always end up having it. 8 and 5 is 13. So I'm seeing 1313 as an angel number message for you. Also interesting here is 248, the multiples. Patterns. I see a pattern, just in general, he's saying you have a pattern around money. He's warning of you spending too much money, not saving your money. 30. So you have lucky numbers 248, 5, 13, 30, and then bonus numbers 14 and 13 is what he's giving. Interesting. Sequence of numbers here. 2, 4. I feel like you're about 24, and he had me line this up beneath. I feel like you're between like 24 and 30. And I feel like, or you're about to be 24. And it's making me feel like you're in the age. He's saying ages. He's saying between these years, you're really going to need to stack up your money. between 24 and 30, because 5 and 13, because however you are used to making money or receiving money, it's making me feel like you receive money more than you make it. I don't know if you are employed or not, but he's making me feel like you get money from somebody or somewhere. He's making me feel like you're gonna have to really focus on earning money and saving it, because you're coming into a period where you're gonna need to be independent. And that's all he's gonna say, because you only pay for lucky numbers. If you'd like to know more about that, then you can always pay for Lucky Combo. But he's saying be careful with your money. Save your money. Your luck has been on your side, but this is kind of reminding me of like when kids get their free will under a certain age, they don't really have their own free will, but when they become teenagers, they get their own free will. And he's saying you've kind of had an extension of people around you that have provided past due. So get used to providing for yourself. That's all he's going to say. Luck may be running out for you, is what he's making me feel. Gracias, Misericordia. Guede Limbo. Gracias, Misericordia. The next person on the list is Robert. Got a couple R's today. Robert. Gracias, Misericordia. Okay, so far each person is lucky in general. Luck a little upside down though, like turning, possibly eventually flipping, a change of fate in luck. I mean, you could become more lucky, but we do have a few of these that are upside down. Changes in your luck. 2 5s upside down, changes. But I actually feel like it's a turn of your luck more into abundance. I don't feel like it's actually going backwards. I feel like it'll go more into abundance, changing into more abundance. I feel like you're sitting on some sort of money opportunity. 82. I don't know how old you are, but you do feel significantly older than me. This is popping up. So first off, your lucky numbers are 5, 5, 8, 2, 60, 14, also 55, 82, and lucky bonus numbers 241, 142, 214, 24, 12, and 21. But I do feel, I don't know how old you are, however, I do feel you're way older than the last person I read. That this is making me feel like you're having a turning of luck as you age, and that it's making me feel like you have some kind of assets, a number of different assets that you may want to look at cashing in on, is what he's saying. That's all he's going to say. But these are the lucky numbers that you could play in the lotto this week. Also, angel number 55. He did make me, when he was having me look at 14, I did add that up to 5 as well. So you have 555 there, angel number 555, lucky number 555. He's also giving bonus number, like I said, 82, 28, 260, and 62 as well. Something about 82 is making me feel like an age. I'm not sure if you are in that age bracket area or ballpark, but I feel like you're going to become more lucky around that age. Like you're going to maybe inherit something, or somebody's going to leave something in your name, or you're going to be able to receive some sort of lump sum of money around 82. So that's the lucky numbers of the week for you, Robert. And remember, you can combine these with the free lucky numbers that I gave earlier, as well as other lucky numbers I may have given out this month so far for the free lucky numbers for the collective. Gracias, Guede Limbo. All right. The next person I'm going to do lucky numbers for is Becky. Let me clear these real quick because I feel like a little energy on them. Too much already. Just burnt my hair. Hair on my arm is burnt. Okay. All right. What did I say? I said Becky. Okay. Gracias, Misterio. Guede Limbo. What are the lucky numbers of the week for? Lucky numbers of the week. Gracias, Misterio. Guede Limbo. Gracias, Misterio. Guede Limbo. Hi, Sylvia. Good morning. Again, luck is on your side this week. But you, like another person, I don't feel are independent in a financial sense. You're not enough independent. Maybe you earn money, but I don't feel like, I feel like there's change. There's a lot of change and instability. I also feel like hexes. He's telling me hexes you cast on yourself. And also like, you don't have as much good luck as you could have. You try to do the right thing. And try to make the right choices. But I feel like you've got a lot of like spiritual blockages, a lot of changes, a lot of instability. You may need to get a reading with somebody. I don't offer them right now, but you may need to get a reading more so to figure out what this is really meaning. Because it is affecting your money flow or your ability to be more independent is what I am seeing. Feeling like you're dependent too much on somebody or someone else. And I feel like you also have too many people around you that rely also on your money, which is weird because I feel like you're dependent on people and not like independent enough in a sense of stability. Maybe, is this a house or like a home? Or is this like how they make money? Making me feel more like day-to-day life, daily like living isn't as independent as you could be, but you're also responsible for other people financially. So I don't know what that really means to you, but it's affecting your luck. It's affecting your ability to make more money. It's affecting your health as well, he says. So that's all he's really going to say about that. Your lucky numbers of the week, though, are 4, 5, 6, 7, 3, 60, 360, 63 is a bonus number as well. I don't see any angel numbers for you, but he's giving the bonus numbers 342, 34, 32, 24, 23, as well as lucky numbers 4, 3, and 2. So he's making me feel like you could be playing these in the lotto if you'd like to. He's making me feel like not really gambling too much, just lotto would be more beneficial for you. Are there $3 tickets? Lotto. I know lotto prices have changed in some places. I'm not sure. Recently, I saw them listed as different for, I don't know if it was Powerball or Mega Millions, but they like went up where I'm at. So I think they like doubled. So I don't know if there's $3 tickets I don't know if there's $3 cards, but he's saying that number 3 will make you luckier in the sense of lotto as well. So maybe focus on anything or buying like 3 at a time. Maybe buying 3 different dollar cards. If you only have a few bucks to spare, buy 3 different dollar lotto tickets, dollar cards. Don't buy all the same one. Play different games. For you, he says also, you would do good on slots. He doesn't recommend it for the majority, but for you, he does recommend, if you do like to go to the casino, go to slots. Your games are slots. You're good with intuition because you have some divine connection, he says. So you can pick which slot machines out. You're guided to the right slots. And you trust your gut to know when to leave and when to move on to a different machine, or which machine to play or which machine not to. That's interesting. So you would do good with lotto and you would do good with slots. All right, those are your lucky numbers of the week for Becky. Gracias, Guede Limbo. Last person for lucky numbers is Roslyn. I'm doing yours after this next person, Camille. You're on the lucky combo list. I'm still just doing the lucky numbers first. I have one more person to do, and then you're the only person I have this week for the lucky combo. So you'll be next after this person. Okay. So Roslyn. Guede Limbo. What are lucky numbers of the week for Roslyn? Gracias. All right. Isn't that so interesting? Last week, most of these were upside down, telling people to wait, that it wasn't a lucky week. This week, everybody is right side up, same penny. It's a thicker penny for gaming purposes, but last week it was like everybody's was upside down. This week, everybody's coming up right side up. So everybody this week in general is lucky for the collective, and it's lucky for each individual person. Their own individual luck is doing good. Again, these are different people than last week, so these people have good luck this week. Pretty balanced in your financials. A little bit You're very independent financially. And I feel like you're the breadwinner. I don't know if you're married, but he's saying breadwinner. You may be carrying more or paying or investing more into something than another person. Definitely feeling a relationship here. I'm not going to try to get too deep into that because that would be more of a combo, but I'm seeing that you have a lot of luck, and I'm feeling like you're sharing your luck too much with others. Somebody close to you, possibly somebody you're in a relationship with. Breadwinner is what he just kept saying. So this is making me feel like with these numbers here, I see ones, I'm seeing also number 11, but I'm seeing change. But I am seeing massive abundance as well here. Let me see. Last one here. Oh, I see. He's saying, see, it's interesting how they come out. He's saying it's like you're giving 90% and like somebody else is giving, you're giving almost like in between 80 to 90% over here is how he's having me look at this. See, the numbers will mean different things depending on how he, how he wants to use them for the message. He's saying like you're giving between like 80 to 90% of like a household income, and somebody else is giving like no more than 20%. And that's not, and it's been happening for too long. And it's taxing on you. Angel number 115 and angel number 511. Also May 11th coming up, 5/11 here this week. Mother's Day upside down. Are you a mother? Making me feel like you're a mother, like a breadwinner and a mother. And something has to change. Something is out of, it needs to be balanced. The mother is, okay, so the way that the penny came out was completely flat and straight, balanced like that. If you notice, I read into the symbols and everything. The two sides of the cross here, you see how this is a cross? The penny is balanced, and I'm thinking of this cross like scales, like the scales of justice, like a weighing scale, right? The way I'm seeing this in my head, the way he's playing it out is motherhood, something to do with motherhood and unfairness in being the breadwinner and how much you're putting into things. It's like you're carrying a whole relationship. You're carrying a whole marriage or relationship and being a mother and being a provider. I don't know if you're married. Sounds like you're married. But it sounds like it's unfair. There needs to be more balance. You're not being able to do as much. This upside down meaning you're not being able to do as much on the relationship with your child or children as you should be. The role just needs to reverse. Somebody's got to come up with some sort of either taking care of more financially or doing the equal in chores and, other contributions to relationship to alleviate you is what he's saying. That's all he's really going to say. He's just saying be aware of there needs to be more balance there. There needs to be change there for the children and for you. It's like somebody sucking up your money and taking away from your ability to be with your children. That could also be a job. where a job is taking away too much time if you're working all the time, and where the pay is just not worth the sacrifice. So however that resonates, it could be one meaning or it could be both of them apply. So take what resonates. The lucky numbers are 115, 892, and 20. 90, 92, the number 2, the number 20, 890, 115, 511. Also lucky number 11 and 15. And 234, 24, 34, 43 are your bonus numbers. Gracias, Misterio, Guede Limbo. And if you're a mother, have a happy Mother's Day and try to spend more time with your children than you previously had, is what he's saying. All right, lucky numbers of the week. Lucky numbers of the week are done. We're going to go to lucky combo. We have one of those to do in just a moment. I do feel like I need to do this again. Run these through this real quick, clear these. Gracias, Misterio, Guede Limbo. Let's clear those. All right. And before we get a lucky combo, for those of you who would like to participate next week, it is open for May 17th for lucky numbers, what I just did. If you'd like to receive just your lucky numbers of the week and the basic advice as to how they may be relevant, how to use them, specifically for you. And then what I'm going to get into now is the lucky combo. Lucky combo is the lucky numbers plus more detail in the lucky numbers, as well as a mini luck and business, let's try that again. A mini luck and money reading, which may cover, depending on what Guede Limbo sees for a specific person when I speak their name to his dice and to him. It may entail their career, if they're more businessy, it may go into business, it may talk about entrepreneurship, or if they're better off in something like sports betting, gambling, etc. He's going to tell them that it's, however it may apply, the paths that may be open to them and for their highest good. So let's see what he has to say. For our lucky combos, you can sign up for either one of these at samthespiritist.com. They do close the night before, generally around 3 a.m. Eastern time on Saturday morning, which is like midnight Pacific time on Friday, Saturday morning. But basically what I'm saying is sign up before the end of Friday if you're on the East Coast, or if you're on the West Coast, you might have until about 3 a.m. if you're on the West Coast to sign up on Saturday morning. But I don't usually let signups go past that on Saturday. So the earlier you sign up, the more likely you'll be able to get a spot, because I only do about up to 7 lucky numbers and like 3 lucky combos right now for time purposes. So each week. So let's get started with the lucky combo. The person who signed up this week is Camille. I know she's on. So let's get started here. All right. Guede Limbo, Guede Limbo. What are first the lucky numbers of the week for? What is the luck and money reading for Camille? What does she need to know for her luck and her money, her career, or her business? Gracias, Misericordia, Guede Limbo. Yo, Mama, Papa, Mundi, we trust. Gracias, Misericordia. What are the lucky numbers of the week for Camille? I have a cousin named Camille. Gracias, Misericordia. That's interesting, because somebody signed up named Rosalind, and I have a cousin named Rosalind, and somebody signed up today named Camille, and Rosalind has a younger sister named Camille, so that's really weird and creepy. But you're not creepy though, Camille. The Camille who signed up. I'm not saying you're creepy. I'm just saying it was a coincidence, or is it? Creepy numbers and a luck and money reading for Camille. We trust. All right. I can't make it up. Luck is on your side. You are a lucky person in general. Luck is on your side. Change is in progress. If you notice, the way it is revolving this way in front of luck. Luck changes, better changes, clockwise changes on your luck. Luck snowballing into larger luck. And if you see after this, stability, more stability. More stability. Changes towards positive changes, good luck opportunities towards a home, a new home, a move, good luck, and fast changes are going to be associated to a luck or a move or a purchase of a home, if not a move into a new space, or a move that may have just happened, if not a move that you have planned coming up. But luck is on your side and things are starting to move quickly for you. Be prepared. Don't wait on any actionable items that you need to take care of. Something this past week as well. Something this last week, May the 4th, around May 4th. I don't know if you made a decision or began thinking about or took action on something regarding moving, or looked at anything or applied for anything, but he's saying it is a very lucky week. And if you did think about that last week, luck will be on your side towards that right now, towards pursuing that. This time is a good time to pursue any type of move or changes in your living arrangement, as well as any new job or new career path that you're interested in. Let me see what else he is saying here. Lucky number 9. Let me move this over. Saying no, don't spend more than $2,000 on something. This could be a deposit. This could be a down payment or a deposit towards something. But he's saying don't, or like a monthly rent, if you pay rent or looking for like an apartment or something like that. He's saying try to stay around 2,000 as like a budget, or if you have any big purchase for something coming up, he's saying try not to spend more than 2,000, and always have at least $2,000 in your savings account, or you're like at a time for a rainy day. The lucky numbers first of the week are 5, 4, 9, 2, 200, 2,000, 92, 49, 29, 94, 54, 45. These are lucky numbers for the lotto as well. Oops, this was the side. 234, 243, 24, 34, 42. These are bonus numbers. 32. Let me see what he's saying about your luck and your money now, in general. Hearing the word entrepreneur, hearing the word need to pursue entrepreneurship. Business, too much untapped potential. Too smart for her own good. Too limited in whatever capacity you work or earn money now. Limited pay where you're at now, what you do now. Need to think bigger, need to perform more as an entrepreneur. Pursue more like an entrepreneur. If you are in business, he's saying, if you are a business owner already, he's saying there are other streams of income that you haven't tapped into yet. But if you work for somebody, he's saying your income is too limited and your potential, you're going to outgrow it. And you're too limited where you are. You either need to pursue a higher position, higher pay, or you need to add additional income streams by also becoming an entrepreneur on the side. Okay. Think like an entrepreneur. You're not unemployed. You're now an entrepreneur. You're never unemployed if you're an entrepreneur. You could always make money. You have to think bigger. That's what he said earlier. Think bigger, bigger potential. If you have an idea, if you have like something that you are good at, that can be monetized. That could be monetized a number of ways. That could be monetized with no overhead cost to you. That could be monetized on social media almost in a day. The first thing that comes to your mind that you would love doing. If somebody gave you an unlimited budget and was like, here, I'll make it happen. I'll fund it for you. What would that be? And you should pursue that because you don't need an unlimited budget. You just need enough to get started and get the ball rolling. And know that once you start pursuing it, Spirit's going to provide it for you. Because whatever gets you excited and gets you passionate that you actually would love to do, not just like you could tolerate it, you could deal with it. No, what would you be excited about doing every day that it wouldn't feel like work? What would you love to do and get paid for that you already do or you already like to do? And you can monetize that. There's a million ways to make $1. But that's the answer. Whatever you would love to do every day. And that could be multiple things too. Make a list. He's saying make a list and figure out how to monetize that. There's other people already doing it. And therefore the blueprint is already out there. All you have to do now is be a good researcher. If you're not as knowledgeable of how to do certain things like tech stuff or how to do setting up a website. I mean, there's so many, like when I started doing online business when I was in college. That was in 2008 or 9. He's telling me to tell you my story, a little bit of my story. I decided one day in college that getting paid like $7 and change an hour wasn't enough. And I hated the people I worked with at my school bookstore in college. I couldn't stand my manager. And I hated standing on my feet all day because I had a bad back. I didn't know I had a bad back yet, but I was having a weakened back. So I had real bad like foot pain and back pain. Got tired very easily. Didn't like it. And decided I wanted to do something simpler. And I wanted to make money on my own time. And I wanted to make money doing something I was good at, which was more tech and music. So I decided that I also took a coding class, a very simple HTML back in the day, HTML, CSS, basic website like coding class in my business school. And I decided, with that simple knowledge of how to set up a basic website, back then I was able to utilize a social media platform of the time, which was MySpace. And I was able to just go on MySpace, create a simple, I learned how to make really basic graphics, like little marketing flyers for free. And I would send them out on, and I bought like a $39 auto commenter. At the time, you could buy these bots to like auto comment, and it didn't get flagged by MySpace. Like now you got Instagram that flags all that stuff as spam. Back then they didn't flag anything as spam, really, automatically. They didn't have algorithms like we do now. And I was able to do that, and I was able to promote. I set up a PayPal link for myself. I didn't even have a business. I just made paypal.com. I went in and created a personal account. I went and created a little flyer, decided I was going to use that auto commenting software that I paid one time for to buy and own. And then I found another program. I found a need in the marketplace is what I did. I saw that people on MySpace, musicians on MySpace, were looking to get more views and plays to rank higher. So what I did was I sent, I'm proud of it, but I'm not proud of it. But at the time, I sent basically bot traffic to their pages, and I charged them because I had a program that would send plays and views and inflate their numbers, and it would get them up the charts, and it actually got them gigs, and it got them recognized, and it got them offers and different deals, and it got them exposure. So I paid, and this was back then I was charging $39, $59, $79, $99 for my packages. I paid one time for my program, which was like, again, another $49 for 2 programs. I paid less than $100 to get started. I got paid via PayPal. People went to my website link that I created myself, and people paid. And I had my auto commenter doing it all the time. And then when people paid me, all I had to do was put in their MySpace link into my program and click a button that said, do I send them 1,000 plays? Did they pay for 1,000 plays? Did they pay for 10,000 plays? Did they pay for 100,000 plays? Did they pay for 1,000,000 plays? Depending on which package I had created and promoted. And they bought whatever one they bought. I put their link in and I clicked the button next to how many plays or views, and I had an automated program running like 24/7 on my plastic laptop, my plastic MacBook back then, in my college dorm. And I started making more money than I had ever made. At the time, I thought $5,000 in a semester was filthy rich. But it was right around the time that Google caught on and MySpace caught on to the inflated plays and stuff like that and traffic, and they started shortly thereafter. I did it for about 2 or 3 semesters, and I made like almost 15 grand in 3 semesters, doing that very mildly. Like doing that, like letting my software run in the background while I was sleeping or while I was at class. And I learned how to make money in my sleep at like 17, 18 years old. And nobody believed me until I showed them that I did it. My mom even thought that I was gonna get in trouble, and that she took me to see this like account, these older folks that were doing, it was like a senior citizens place that was doing taxes for free. And she took me there because she was terrified that I was going to get in trouble because I hadn't paid taxes yet. I hadn't filed for taxes, and I hadn't been saving for taxes. But I had just made under the threshold. Like I had that for that for that tax year that she was concerned about. I had made under the threshold for reporting, which was like 12 grand. So, people didn't think it was real until I made it real. People didn't think it was possible until I showed them it was possible. And you have to create an avenue. When there's nothing available to you, you have to create one. That's why I'm sharing the story. Because you may think there's nothing for you. And if that's the case, you may be meant to create the way. Because that's what you're here to do. You're a co-creator with God and Goddess. That's what we're all here to do. It's just people choose to either believe or not believe that they have the power to do that. That they have the ability, that Most of the people are looking for permission from other people to do that. I didn't have no handout. My dad was the cheapest motherfucker in the world. Didn't give me no money except obviously I got my CD, I got my a very small amount of money that my parents were able to put aside for me. But he didn't want to pay child support, alimony. It was like pulling teeth, miserable about it. So I didn't ever ask my father for anything. I didn't get a handout from him. My mom couldn't afford much of anything. I never asked her for anything either. I always had to find a way. Find a way, make a way. So if I wasn't working jobs, I was figuring out how to make money on the internet and finding ways to monetize things I was good at doing. And that's what you need to do. Where there isn't a way, or you think there is not a way, there is. It's just you haven't pursued it or created it yet. But there is. You remember the NPC movement on TikTok? I'm not saying become one, but I'm saying people made a freaking money avenue out of nothing, out of an idea, out of a joke. And you know how much people were making a day on that when that was trending? And some people are still doing it. People were making 5,000, 10,000 or more a day being NPCs on TikTok. So let me say it again. Where there is a will, there is a way. And where there wasn't a way, you can create one out of thin air. I've seen a listing on the internet a long time ago, like 7 years ago already at least, for fresh air. Somebody was selling fresh air from the hills of Ireland in a jar, and selling it to people in China. Okay? And that's a lesson for anybody. There is avenues available all over. And if not something that resonates, then create something that works for you. And there will be people. Your money, your luck, and your money come from being utilized. Gifts that are underutilized can cause financial blockages. Smarts. If you're equipped with smarts, he said that you were a smart, what did he say earlier in the reading? He said you were a very smart, intelligent person. They had a lot of potential, but you were being hindered. A lot of jobs will hinder people who are very intelligent or intellectual individuals will be hindered in regular 9-to-5s. So a job isn't for them. A job could be a stepping stone, but if you're a very intelligent person, and a lot of the time you have to be in either a very aligned job for your type of intelligence, and if you're not, you're gonna hate it. And a lot of those jobs are very competitive because there's a very limited amount compared to, regular jobs for just entry-level employees. There's a lot more of those than very, very specific, like senior level or analytical data. I had my stepfather used to be, I don't know if he is anymore, a data analyst for a big company, Honeywell. And you have to be really aligned to be in that, and there's not that many of those positions compared to entry-level positions. So making sure that you are, if you do go back into the workforce seeking employment with a 9-to-5, make sure it's in alignment with your skill sets. It has to be in alignment, because when you're in a job just for money, people think that that's the solution to their money problems, is just getting any job to pay the bills. It's really not. Being in the job, this is advice for you, Camille. If you're going to pursue a job, pursue jobs not just for the money that are going to pay, because that's going to be a short-lived experience. You're going to go through all the work of applying for jobs and the stress of interviewing or waiting for somebody to call you back. And then it's going to be short-lived, because although, yeah, it might be the right pay that you're seeking, it's not going to be, it's not just how the world works. That's not how the spiritual realm works. Spirit needs you to be in alignment and find opportunities where your skills and gifts that you've been endowed with from God are being well utilized. If they're not, then it's not going to last long. And you will find yourself either in, getting let go, or having problems with people in the place, because your spirit, either a lot of times there are people in the workplace that are challenges there. Sometimes they are doing things to you intentionally, but other times they are there as a placement from a spirit to push you out of a place that you're not meant to be, to make you uncomfortable so you leave and pursue more something in alignment. No, absolutely not with anybody that you are family with, related to, or friends with. And I said this last time, I think, or on my last video I did the other day, talking about never mixing business with family or friends. Unless they are your absolute divine soul, divine twin flame, and your spirit guides say that they could be 100% trusted, and they've proven 100% trusted, it's a no. That's the only exception. If Spirit has said they're your divine twin flame and they've proven that you can trust them, and they can trust, and you've proven that they can trust you, and then it's a no. Never mix that unless you are 100% certain that they are, because you have to look at people as liabilities or assets. Are they an asset or are they a liability? And if they're not married to you, if they're just like a baby's father and they're not married to you, no commitment, no business. And definitely not with friends. Entrepreneurship. Pursue entrepreneurship. You can still pursue a 9-to-5. However, your stability comes from pursuing entrepreneurship. Also, if you need money, there's a lot of funding that can become available to you when you form an LLC. And if you have decent credit, you can look into, if you have decent personal credit, you can look into getting what's called a no docs business loan, only if you're responsible with money. Got to be very responsible with money and able to manage money, and not mix your business money and your personal purchases ever, because that's called breaking the corporate veil. And if you get audited, that's going to be a problem. So if you get business funding in the future for your LLC, when you do choose to start an LLC, you need to make sure that you keep everything personal, separate. Learn what you can write off. Before you pursue business, here's his advice. Before you go getting carried away, Camille, with getting a business, figuring out what your business will be as an entrepreneur, small business owner, whatever you want to do, however you want to do it, he wants you to read up on business tax. He wants you to read Robert Kiyosaki. There's a book by Robert Kiyosaki called Tax-Free Wealth. And he's suggesting you look at that book. You can also, regardless of how anybody feels about the man, there's a great book by Trump called The Trump Tax Code. It's pretty much every business and personal loophole, which is not just a loophole, but it's just how you can take advantage of the opportunities presented by how the tax code is written. And learning how to understand the differences between personal and business tax are going to make your life a lot easier and make pursuing business a lot less scary or intimidating. So you know how to properly, what you can write off under your business and what qualifies as business purchases, business meals, car purchases under the business, how it can be used, all of those things. There's a lot of benefits to owning a business if you are able to turn profit. If you are able to turn profit quickly and you have little overhead in your business, then there's a lot of things that you can purchase under the business that could be written off and written out of your taxes, taken out from your profits, and lessening your taxable income or taxable revenue. So get acquainted with business tax law and get acquainted with setting up LLC in your state, and do some research. There's a really good person. Also, he wants me to recommend a person to you who gives a lot of information for free. I would only recommend, I've never taken their private training. I don't need to, but a lot of their personal information is really good. It's called Lex the CEO, _ Lex the CEO, I believe, on Instagram. Has a lot of information about how you can get funding with very little effort needed and where to go, what banks to go to. You just need to figure out if your personal credit is good enough, and if not, there's information there through her about how to fix your personal credit, etc. But if you have good personal credit, you can get business funding. You just need to make sure that you have a business set up properly, and obviously that your business is already, turning a profit before before he suggests you taking any type of funding, like a loan or a business line of credit. Because remember, business lines of credit and business loans have to be repaid, and they can, if you're not paying them back on time, they can negatively impact, especially your first business, can negatively impact your personal credit score, because it usually will report for the first year to your personal credit. So you need to make sure that before you take loans or any lines of credit out for your business, that it is consistently making sales, and only take those to grow the business and reinvest back into the business. Don't use them for anything except the business. You can use it for marketing, you can use it for social media ads, you can use it for hiring people, you can use it for investing in a vehicle or any equipment you need, etc. And then remember, you can always write pretty much all your business startup costs off as well. So take advantage of all the legal opportunities, business opportunities that new business entrepreneurs are able to get when they start a business. Do your research on that, and you'll be successful. You just have to step out and be willing to take a risk in order to get a greater reward. That's it. You'd be a good business person. You just got to get more information on the subjects to be more confident in pursuing it and forming it. That's all. But like I said, you oh, good. Oh my God, do you know how many years I spent trying to repair my credit from my health bills that got put on it years ago? So you're in an excellent position to pursue. With that, you can open multiple businesses if you wanted to. It depends what you're trying to get into. If it depends on what area you really are interested in. If you're interested in properties, real estate investing, you can do a lot with that. You can do a lot of properties with that if you're knowledgeable on the subject. There's a lot. That's what I also do on the side. So like if you're into real estate investing and you have good credit, and you know how to form LLCs for your properties, you can rinse and repeat properties over and over and over, and get funding over and over and over for one LLC. You can get multiple banks to fund you. You just have to go to each bank, and they'll look at your personal credit. They'll look at your existing business credit, and they'll see, if you're on time with them and you pay on time, then you'll likely get approved for funding with very little hassle or no hassle at all with that credit score. So your credit score is a huge thing you can leverage. Your personal credit can get you a lot when you go into business. And it's something that I had wished I knew before my credit got damaged, before when I first got sick. Nobody taught me anything about it. So that's what he suggests for you, is to really look at business opportunities to branch out into, because you're sitting on, basically with that credit score, you're sitting on over $1 million worth of credit, business credit available to you. I'll tell you that. You just have to take the steps to form the LLC, figure out what you want to do, what you want to pursue, what avenue of business, what industry. And if you're well informed about it already, or well skilled in it already, then I would look into pursuing that business and going and getting a no docs. You can get a no docs, or you can get a no docs is like no personal guarantee, no personal guarantee required business line of credit or business loan. I always recommend lines of credit over loans, though, because lines of credit, they're not really revolving. Lines of credit are revolving, loans are not. Usually, once you take the loan out, you got to pay the loan back, and it's not like a credit card or a debit card. So, leverage the business credit to blow your businesses up and take yourself, from zero to hero. It's about information and the knowledge. And until somebody shared it with me on social media, I didn't know about it. So I'm just passing it on. That's what he wanted me to do, is pass on that knowledge. So that's his suggestion and his advice for you, because you're supposed to be, your untapped potential is what he said. That's the first thing he said. You have too much potential to be sitting on it and not making mad money from it. You're skilled in many different ways. It's just you don't have a vehicle, like an avenue or something to drive yourself from point A to point Z yet. You just have to create the vehicle and get in it and drive. So create your business, get in it and drive by getting yourself funded and building it out. Use, if it's something especially if you can do something like with very little overhead, not a lot to invest into, then you'll be successful. You'll be successful quicker than a lot of other people. So that's his advice for you. Let me know how it goes. Okay. Gracias, la misericordia, Guede Limbo. That's lucky numbers of the week for everybody for the week of May 10th. Lucky numbers for next week are open. And be careful in business also. Don't get business partners, he said. Like business acquaintances. Because once you start having and rolling around in a nice car and rolling around and people know you got money, you need to have, before you get to that point, he said you need to have firm boundaries. Do it now. Set up firm boundaries right now. Begin speaking as if you already have it. Acting as if you already have it. You need to be in the preparation process for becoming a millionaire. So as I from my lips to God's ears, and if you receive it, say on your end, I receive. Okay. If you receive it and you believe it and you pursue the action steps he just gave you, you're going to become a millionaire. quickly. It's possible for you in 2 years or less to become a millionaire. And remember, business funding, business funding is leverage. Your credit is leverage and business funding is leverage. So when you put money to work, he wants you to always think of the money that you receive as not your money. It's your business's money. And this is advice for anybody going into business. The money that you get from any business, you got to remember that your business is a separate entity from you. You're a person, and your business you have a social security number. Your business basically has a social security number, that's EIN. So your business is a separate entity from you. So when the business gets credit, it's not your money, it's the business's money. And so put that money to work. That money should be allocated appropriately for operation expenses, B, taxes due quarterly, have separate checking and savings accounts for different things within the business so that you always have the money allocated for, and anything that you need, the money's always there. And then reinvest back into either the existing business to grow it, to scale it. That means running more ads, hiring more people, or however you need to grow the business, depending on what the business is. Or reinvest from one business into another and grow multiple businesses. Okay? So, there you go. That's all I have today for you. And let me know how it goes. And gracias a la misericordia Guede Limbo. Gracias a la misericordia Sain Expedite. I'll see you guys next week on the 17th of May. Sign up is open for that now. And you can sign up at Spiritist.com for lucky numbers and lucky combo. Have a great rest of the week. And remember, stop listening to the things that don't serve your highest good. Stop listening to things that are limiting. Stop listening to things that are telling you that everything's going to shit, that the world's falling apart. And it's not true. The world is just resetting for something better. And you have to speak what you want into existence, not what you don't want. Gracias a la misericordia. Have a blessed week. I'll see you next week. That's it.